welcome back to the Gras to Orloff show. It's November 19th, 2022. And today, I think we're going to be looking at some posters, movie posters and things like that, because I'm moving all these posters to a better spot. And I've got a lot of rolled posters, and rolled posters are dangerous because they can easily, be creased. So I'm going to unroll them all and have them all. I'll show you what I'm going to do. But it's a Saturday morning, so I got up way too early. I've been watching some Saturday morning cartoons. There's a guy on YouTube that runs a live show every Saturday morning and shows cartoons. And he had Sabrina, the Teenage Witch from 1972 was playing the Filmation cartoon, and Josie and the Pussycats. He pointed out something I never really thought of, is that, the Archie cartoon series and Sabrina are Filmation, but Josie and the Pussycats also based on the Archie comics as Hanna-Barbera, and they were running on the same time period. One thing that's kind of interesting. At the old house in Texas, I used to have a wonderful beagle named Daisy who passed away 5 years ago yesterday. And, the cats would just, lay right next to her and everything. But when we got Drew, the beagle that we currently have, she was a little crazier as a puppy, and the cats, they just didn't. So we kind of put a little gate at the stairs, and the cat stayed upstairs, and the dog stayed downstairs, and it was kind of like, the Berlin Wall. Well, since we moved here 6 months ago, I guess 6 months, we thought, well, we'll do the same thing. And the basement's a big apartment-sized space, and the cats are down there. And the dog has got 3 levels. And I thought, that's not really fair. We should let the cats up. And I bet, we can get them to all get along. But then, about a week or so, I started seeing this little baby mouse running around. Just a baby mouse. And then I noticed there was a dead baby mouse in the basement. So I thought, oh, well, the mouse is dead. But, there's several. Then I found another bit. So I think there's several mice around. So the idea was, let's open it up. Just like when Reagan was president. The Berlin Wall came down. So the door was open. And the cats can now go wherever they want. And the dog goes down to the basement. And they're not killing each other. It's not Tom and Jerry. They're not shoving sticks of dynamite in each other's buttholes and stuff. They seem to be doing all right. So that's something that's happened since the last video. Just because, I look up how to get rid of mice, and the first thing everybody on the internet says is get a cat. Well, we've got 2 cats. So anyway, let's go down to the basement. I've been doing a lot of. I only worked 1 day this week, yesterday, so I've been getting a lot done around the house. And one thing I've been doing is making the basement better. I've followed the words of my idol Klaus Schwab, the great heroic leader of the World Economic Forum, and I'm building the basement back better. So I'll show you what I've been doing with that. Oh, and then I've got an AOK from an act, that's internet, YouTube speak, for an act of kindness. When you get a package from someone unexpectedly, filled with goodies, it's just done back and forth, from John Goris, who I painted a picture of a werewolf fighting vampire women for a while back. You may have seen that on a previous episode. Anyway, he sent me a package. I got it 2 days ago. I'll show you that. And I'm going to show you the basement now. Then we're going to look at some posters upstairs. And what else? Stuff like that. Oh, yeah, here's Pete the cat. Hey, Pete. See, Pete is the door is open. See, it's this is the door to the basement. So it's so he has free access. No, no. Whether he'll catch a mouse, I don't know, because he's kind of elderly. I've had him since about 2007. I don't like to think about that, but 2007, maybe 2008. And I opened the door on a cold, snowy day in Texas, and he walked in. And so he chose me. And Alan was found in the backyard by my wife. Hold on a second. I'm having a brain fart. I'm trying to remember something. Oh, that's what it was. Sorry. My wife found the cat in our backyard, a little baby kitten, and she asked him, "What's your name?" And he said, "Alan." So it was the cat made the Alan sound, so that's how he got his name. So. What am I thinking about? Oh, okay. I'll try to remember something. Anyway, there's Alan. Yeah, I moved Nixon down here by my wife's jukebox. I've been working on the kitchen. We got the heater going. These plumbers had to come out. I didn't. I'm not used to having a house heated by a boiler. You know, since the fifth grade, we lived in Tacoma, Washington, and the house had radiators, but I don't know anything about radiators because I was, in fifth grade. And then, I worked for years in a school built in the 50s that had radiators, but I didn't know that at the beginning of every cold season that you have to bleed air from the radiators for them to work, to function. So they came out and did that the other day. Oh, that was what I was trying to remember on the stairs. I remember my wife, that's how he got his name, Alan. But it's not spelled the normal way, A-L-A-N, because my wife has it spelled A-L-L-I-N, like that G.G. Allen asshole punk rock guy that used to throw shit at the audience. Okay, well, that's what I was trying to remember. I'm getting like getting old, man. Okay, so we're in the basement. So no one under 21 admitted. This is where I've got all these Halloween masks and this Catwoman print from they used to have a Warner Brothers store in the mall. This is number 101 of 300. So it's highly valuable, collectible. Okay, I've got Frankenstein masks. Very important. I've got 2 devil masks. Very important things to have. Here's someone that has a hangover and he's seeing triple. There's Golden Bat, the great Japanese superhero. But what I'm doing is I'm moving a bunch of vintage, highly collectible toys here down into the basement. And I've got, I think I showed you the last episode, I'm starting to bring all these Batman the Animated Series toys down. So I'm gradually, as I discover Batman the Animated Series stuff around the house, I bring it here. And soon, I don't know. Starting to be. I noticed I have several of these clocks, these homemade clocks that I bought off of eBay, and that's what Lucy Liu. In the 90s, early 2000s, they made a Charlie's Angels movie with Drew Barrymore and her and whatever that other lady. I thought that movie was great, even though it had that asshole comedian that Drew Barrymore was dating at the time, who's completely unfunny. I thought that was a great movie. Then they made a sequel, and it was completely terrible. It was kind of like Wonder Woman, and then they made a sequel, and it's like, that's the same person that made the first movie? How is that even possible? So, one of those things. Well, anyway, sometimes in life we have to make decisions, and making the decision to no longer wall off the cats from the dog, I think it's going to be a great historic decision for the. In fact, here's Drew the dog is down here in the basement. Look at this, unbelievable. But sometimes you say, well, we really should let the cats go around the house. We should let the dog down, and then we never do it. But what if you just make the decision to go ahead and say, what the fuck, let's do it. Let's get rid of these mice running around. That's because, I'll use this analogy. I don't know if you know, this was a mask from Free Comic Book Day a few Free Comic Days ago. Now, Drew, don't come in here and shit or something. Please don't. Well, anyway, there once was a great humor magazine called National Lampoon, and someone's already taken a dump right here. Drew, don't think about it. Come on, Drew, let's go upstairs. Drew, this way. Drew, this way. Come on. Come on, Drew. Drew, come on. Drew, no, you cannot do it. Uh-oh, see, he's being territorial. Shit. No, Drew. No, Drew. Let's go outside. Come on, Drew. Let's go outside. Shit. Okay, so they're having a turf war. So she was about to take a shit on the carpet in that bedroom in there to let the cats know, hey, this is my territory now. And so I stopped her, and I'm going to take her upstairs. Drew, we're going to take a bowel movement outside, because I don't want to curse on this show anymore, because I sound vulgar when I say shit. And so I want to say, instead of saying the word shit, Drew, don't go eating the cat turds out of the litter box, you mother father. When they ran, you remember when they ran Godfather on network television in the old days before VHS and streaming and DVD and Blu-ray? When they ran movies on television, they had to edit them. So they would get the actors, when they were recording the dialogue, for the movies, they would, come on, Drew, go outside. They would record loops for R-rated movies, where they didn't curse. So whenever someone said motherfucker, they'd change it to mother father. You mother father, you. And of course, I'll get back to my original story, don't worry. Of course, the great one was, even before the Hays Code came along in 1933 and cleaned up Hollywood productions, he still couldn't curse explicitly. I mean, it was a big scandal when, in 1939, when Gone with the Wind, when Clark Gable said, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. It's like, oh my God, someone said damn in a movie. But anyway, I need to stop cursing as much. It's a bad influence on you people. But anyway, okay, so there's a great magazine called National Lampoon, great humor magazine. And they had a radio show with tremendous talent. They had John Belushi. This is around 74, 73, 74. They had John Belushi. They had Christopher Guest. He was great. He later became a filmmaker. They had Bill Murray. They had his brother, Brian Doyle Murray, Gilda Radner. Oh, a lot of greats. And almost the whole original cast of Saturday Night Live was on that radio show. And all Lorne Michaels, the TV producer, did is he just came in, scooped up the whole cast of the National Lampoon Radio Hour and a lot of the writers like Michael O'Donoghue, and started Saturday Night Live. And that show's still running today, even though it hasn't been funny in like 40 years since that original cast left. In my opinion, you'll probably disagree with me. But anyway, so Saturday Night Live, the radio show. On that radio show, I think it was maybe a Michael O'Donoghue routine. They promoted all through one episode that they were going to have a Beatles reunion at the end of that episode of the National Lampoon Radio Hour. It was syndicated on FM stations around the country. And at the end of the show, they took 4 solo tracks from the 70s. I think they had Live and Let Die and some song by George Harrison and maybe Imagine from Lennon. And anyway, they played the 4 songs at the same time to create the illusion that it was a new Beatles song, and they had reunited for the show, and they were just playing 4 records at the same time. So that was something they did on the National Lampoon Radio Hour. But anyway, Saturday Night Live comes along, which was a wonderful in its first few seasons, but it was still an imitation of the National Lampoon Radio Hour, right? So I'm walking Drew here. So anyway, Lorne Michaels comes out on just like a whole bunch of subsequent episodes and said that he wanted all 4 Beatles to reunite and play 2 or 3 songs, and he said, I will give you, and he had this big $500 check. He said, so he was saying he was saying, please come and perform on Saturday Night Live, which was originally just called Saturday Night, and then they added live. They said, hey, it's Saturday night, live from New York, it's Saturday night. That was actually the name of the show. Anyway, so he said, come on in and perform. I'll give you $500. Well, one night in New York, one Saturday night, Paul McCartney, and I'm sure this was a pretty rare occasion, was visiting with John Lennon in New York. And they were watching Saturday Night Live. And they saw Lorne Michaels come on and offer that $500 check. And they said to each other, hey, let's get a cab and let's just go down there and perform. And they were going to do it. And then they decided, I guess, nah. Do you realize how historic that would have been? And how great that would have been? That would have been like one of the highlights, or one of the great things about the Beatles' career, because it would have taken away all the pettiness and all the fighting that happened later, and it would just show, hey, we're not like Bruce Springsteen charging $5,000 for a ticket to see us. We're just do it for nothing, $500, and it just fuck it. It's like a big fuck you to all the big promoters and people that want to sponge off of them. It would have just been hilarious and in a great moment, but they didn't do it. And so I decided, should I just talk about letting the cats out? Because it used to be great. Pete the cat would sleep next to us on the bed. Drew can't sleep next to us on the bed because if she's awakened or startled awake, if one of us moves in the middle of the night, she is scared, and it's just without even thinking will reach out to bite. So you'll be sleeping in the middle of the night and just turn over in your sleep, and all of a sudden, it's the devil doll from Trilogy of Terror snapping at your toes. So she sleeps next to us on her bed, but she can't get up on the bed, man. It's just too dangerous. But it'd be cool if the cats could, they need to have their freedom. And I don't want to kill the mice, because they're kind of cute, but they gotta go. So I'll let the cats do that dirty work. Well, sorry, I'm probably not going to have people watching this video for very long. I promised I'd show you videos, but now I'm out walking the dog. But, life throws you curveballs. She didn't shit, But I'm going to go in because I'm ruining this episode. 627, I believe it is. Let's see, I locked the door, but no one locks their doors in this community of their cars or their houses because there's no crime here, but I still lock it. Okay. I mean, across the street, the house across the street is the father of the sheriff. So the sheriff's always driving by to kind of check on his parents. So this is about the safest spot in town. Okay. Well, I'll show you. I'll go back down to the basement. I'll show you the stuff I got from John Goris. Let's do that real quick. Okay. I'm watching a replay of yesterday's Alex Jones show. Elon Musk, someone asked Elon Musk if he would bring Alex Jones back to Twitter, and he said, no, I won't do it. Oh, well, let's see. So, John Goris sent me this cool CD, Jonathan Winter's Cranky Calls. I was never aware of this prank call career of Jonathan Winters. And he sent me a playing card pack of Joe Camel, the cartoon spokesman for Camel cigarettes. And of course, I don't know if it's just me, but I always thought Joe Camel looked like male private parts, but who knows? Okay, so and then this is cool. He sent me unopened packs of alien trading cards, which still have the gum inside them. So during the apocalypse, I'll be able to open this for nutrition. It's look at how they're marketing the little girl there. This was an R-rated movie. It was always interesting to me that they marketed this R-rated movie to kids with toys and trading cards. I mean, I was 1978. So I was like 13, so I was still a kid. Here's a pack of Indiana Jones trading cards. I mean, I like to always open things, but I don't think I should open these. And then this must be the original when Raiders of the Lost Ark came out, and then the Indiana Jones probably came out in the summer of '84 when Temple of Doom came out. Return of the Jedi. I remember when every kid at school had that hairstyle. It was always like you had to have your ears covered or you were a nerd. And everybody always parted their hair in the middle. That was the 70s. It was kind of horrible. And this looks cool. Close Encounters of the Third. I mean, I've got a lot of these cards, the Close Encounters cards, and I think I've got a few Alien cards, and I don't know that I have any. I don't think I ever bought any Raiders of the Lost Ark cards, but I don't have any unopened packs, so that's cool. What else did he send me? All these cool. Look at these. They're little miniature army men, but they're getting some good light. They're monsters. So this one is a mummy, right? Yeah, that's a mummy. So I'm going to go put these. I think they're the right scale to go with my Fort Apache playset. There's Frankenstein. Okay, what else we got? Here's the devil. That looks just like what was inside Reagan. Not Ronald Reagan, but Reagan, Linda Blair in The Exorcist, right? Look just like that. This must be a zombie because look, it looks like he's eating a piece of human flesh and he's got a knife in his head. Wonder what the origin of these things are. These are not older. These are of recent vintage, and by that I mean like they could be from the 90s, which is 30 years ago, but to me that's recent. I don't think something's old until you get before like 1975, And then here's a Frankenstein that's got a little bit different color plastic that's kind of cool. Kind of cool, very cool. What am I talking about? And last but not least, a Dracula. So I'm going to go take these down there right now. They sent me a bunch of handmade stickers, which I think are advertising a YouTube channel. Bleed your death upon me. And it says YouTube on the tombstone. Look at this. YouTube, bleed your death upon me. It's like an advertisement for YouTube, isn't it? He should do marketing for YouTube. He should work for, what is it? Who owns YouTube? Google, probably. And this says Ghost Tank 4, which I assume is his YouTube handle, but I looked it up. I couldn't find a Ghost Tank 4 on YouTube. Ghost Tank. Yeah, these are all hand done. These are not printed. Every one of these is done by hand with markers. And then he sent me a, let's see, I don't want to forget anything, a mouse pad of Garfield. And then a sketchbook. Now, it looks like a Bible. And, I should, in the guest bedroom, put this in a drawer in the little nightstand by the bed, so you feel like you're in a Holiday Inn, and this is a Bible, but it's in reality a sketchbook. Let's take a look at it. So you open it up, and this is all painted. So this is you imagine if you were in a Holiday Inn and you opened up the Bible in the drawer next to the bed and you found this. This is pretty darn good. How about that? We'll get up. Oh, yeah, I got to go clean up that poop downstairs, don't I? All right, how about this? Here we're going to look at the whole thing, man. It's pretty good. Wow. Now that's good. That painting is really good there. Yeah, it looks like he's using pen and paint, and it's a mixed medium. She's not barking at the cat. She's barking at a pedestrian outside. I wonder what's going to be on the next page. Skeletons. This was the prerequisite when I was in second grade to buy I look at my collection of Ghost and House of Mystery and House of Secrets, and it's like the ones that I bought off the rack when I was a kid. They always seem to have skulls or skeletons. That if it was just a regular ghost, then it wasn't a skeleton. I somehow was not as attracted to it. So skeletons are important in life. They hold your body up. Okay. This seems to be like an aborted masterpiece here. Uh-oh. It's someone getting their head blown clear off, man. Oh, I've got these two paintings. I gotta send them off to Captain Strangeliffe. Now I got paid yesterday. Now I have several paychecks that hit at different times of the month. So now I can actually Oh, and I need to call Gotham City Comics as soon as I finish this episode and pay him for the Charlton Companion book that just came out about Charlton Comics, the history of Charlton Comics. It someone was reviewing it on Facebook and said it's like I don't know if they said it was 8 pounds or 18 pounds. I think they were exaggerating. I think it was hyperbole. Oh yes, he's signed and dated it. There's his name, John Gores, 2022. So this is not old. This is something he's done recently, and it says later. So I wonder if he does this at work. It looks like he's doing something really important. And then the bell rings like Fred Flintstone. He slides down the dinosaur and goes home and eats a brontosaurus burger. Then the next day it's back to work and drawing skeletons. Oh, I see. That's Fauci, right? All right. Well, it's time. Okay, so we did the AOK. The only problem with me is I get all these great AOKs and I haven't returned a single one of them. I think the first guy that sent me an AOK was Captain Strangelife. And that's probably a year and a half, 2 years ago. And then Graphic Man, and just about everybody sent me, and I never reciprocate. But now I'm starting to get organized, and I can get to the point where I can start doing that. Now, what I've started doing, I have a little book where I keep. It's kind of like a planner, and when I get things from people, I write their address down. And oh, Drew, don't come down here and poop. See, Drew is following me, aren't you, Drew? No, you are not allowed to poop down here. Drew, hey Drew, come here. I'm gonna solve this problem right away. I'm gonna put a puppy pad down there, because that way maybe she won't keep going to that. I don't want her fucking up the carpet down there because it's very luxurious carpet. Okay, come on, Drew. See this puppy pad, Drew? We're gonna find you a spot. Come here, Drew. Okay, Drew, look. I'm putting a puppy pad down here. You see that, Drew? Drew, look. Puppy pad. You see that? That is for you to go to the restroom on. Okay, well, the first time I brought her down here, I brought her on a leash, and they seem to be doing okay together. So now she's off the leash, and see, the dog and the cats are not messing with each other. Now I'm gonna clean up this poop. Damn it. See, this poop was apparently put here. I don't know if that's cat or dog poop. And the cats wouldn't normally poop here, so I think because they've got a kitty litter deal, so I think, yeah, they could be doing unpredictable behavior because of the dog invading their bedroom, because they sleep in that room, and that may be kind of like in Planet of the Apes when they put those crucified scarecrows out there in the Forbidden Zone to keep people away from Ape City. I think pooping on the carpet might be a cat version of a crucified scarecrow, right? So, back in here, I've got some Wonder Woman stuff. This, I drew that years ago, patriotic songs. I don't even know if you can see what I'm filming because, okay, I'm kind of peeking around because I can't see what I'm filming. I'm holding the camera backwards. Okay, a bunch of Hulks and a bunch of Wonder Womans. And there's Alan the cat. Alan, do you see yourself there? Drew, don't fuck with things in here, man. This is not a place to be fucked with. I was going to put those monsters, mix them in here. I've got the caveman prehistoric Mark's place set. I'm starting that up there. Uh-oh. Now Drew's chasing Alan. Okay. It's like a live action cartoon here. Drew, don't mess with the cat, for crying out loud. All right, so what was I showing you in here? I think I'm going to set up the Rock'em Sock'em robots here. So, and I hung up this Cramps poster and that Robert Williams thing. I've been gradually doing, oh, and I hung up some other stuff in this other room here. I hung up this Queen of the Pirates poster. And what else have I done? Oh yeah, I hung up some other stuff here. Look, I hung up that Green Lantern and the Green Beret hobby kit thing. These James Bond Goldfinger. Those were actually door panels that were the size, that were life size, that they used in the movie theaters. Oh, and I set up my German-made ski lift thing. So I'm kind of making this a Western room too, or eventually it will be. So this is I don't know, a bunch of superhero movies. I'm just gradually. Maybe it doesn't look like much has been done, but I'm getting stuff done. I swear I am. Uh-oh. What were you doing in there, Drew? Drew just went in the record closet. Oh my gosh. Oh. She took a big fucking shit in here. Yes, it's going to be a shit war, ladies and gentlemen, for a little while. Drew, that is not where you're supposed to shit. Mother, father. You mother, father, you. I haven't even shown you any posters yet. Well, anyway, I've been sorting stuff on top. Oh, I'll show you this in art class. And I took a commercial art class in high school, and they wanted us to do a record cover, for a record album. So what I did is I did the Beatles Help album. I did a new cover for the Beatles Help album, and this is it. And so I did it in the form of a comic strip. And I turned this into a teacher in high school. Can you imagine? Let's use some light here. Yes, it's pop art, right? So that was oh man, look at this. I haven't seen this in years and decades, and I've been uncovering things as I unpack. So, how about that? And that was a character that I had called Major Mutilate. And I had another guy named Captain Carnage. And that was before Marvel invented that Carnage character. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is awfully smelly, man. Muy horrible. ¿Cómo está usted? Oh my God. Why do you guys have to keep shitting and pissing everywhere, motherfuckers? I won't show it. Oh, I'm trying not to show it on camera. You don't want to see this, man. You might be eating breakfast. into the toilet. I think I've got some spray in here. Drew, don't start fucking with stuff, man. This is not dog proof down here yet, man. You know, this was invented by Joe Biden's daughter. This Ultra Pet Resolve. It's a little known trivia thing. The one he used to shower with. It's like I'm actually making that up. But you know what's true is that's true and not hyperbole. Mike Nesmith's mom invented liquid paper. How about that? You already know that, though. Because you're a nerd. You bastard. Yeah, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get up there and look at movie posters. This is the DVD and record room and all that kind of jazz. And this will be a pinball parlor at some point, but right now I'm unpacking a bunch of stuff. And as I go through it, I will show it to you because some of it is, I think, will be highly entertaining. Sure enough, look at what I've got in here in the bathroom for those of you into Army men and stuff. Some of these are original. He's original. Some of them are repops. Like that was done probably in Mexico in the 90s. That's original. That's a new one. So that's pretty incredible, huh? Astounding. All right. Guys, I'll come give you treats later. I can't give you treats with Drew here because then she'll fight you for them. I'll come back. Starting to. Oh, it says I have low battery. Can you imagine? Let me get a charging cable. Okay. So, I've shown you an A-OK. I showed you things I have put in the basement. What else did I promise? I have promised that we'd look at posters. I don't think I promised anything else. I even had, yeah, I did. I had 2 Pop-Tarts. I was going to say I haven't had breakfast yet. But that would be a lie. All right. Okay. All right. So I'll set the camera here. This might work. And then I'll plug it in. Okay. Now plug it into the outlet. Then we'll get some light and we'll start looking at some posters. All right. Okay. I've got this space in this closet where I'm going to lay out the posters flat. I'm going to show you each poster as we go. Then I'll have a record and I'll remember what posters are in there. This is a British poster for Q, the movie Q. Over in England they called it Q, the Living Serpent. So anyway, I guess this is the god that, according to these, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, that maybe Submariner worships, or maybe he's supposed to be this thing. I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever see another Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. I don't care about them. If they do a Spider-Man one and make it where I don't want to see. I don't want them to bring all this new Miles Morales Spider-Verse stuff into the. And they'll fuck up Fantastic Four. I'm sure they will. Although I do hear they're going to have it set in the 60s and then they're going to come somehow wind up outside of time in today's time period. But who knows? Okay, so this is a rolled poster that somehow didn't get destroyed in the move. And these posters, I always thought they were worthless because they're for VHS releases. These were in video stores, but now people are really into videos, VHS stuff. In fact, I know CGC that creates plastic coffins for comic books. They slab VHS boxes. So all these idiots get first printings of Toxic Avenger and get it encased in plastic. It's just moronic. So I'm laying these out flat on a, I thought that was like a table in there where they put bodies when this was a funeral home. But in reality, it's just it's built up because that's where the stairs are. And they have to have, they have to do it that way. Okay, so I don't know what these are going to be. Oh, I see. This is a poster for the movie that was pretty universally hated, but I kind of liked it, I have to admit, because when I was a kid, we had Nicholas Hammond's Spider-Man on television and stuff that didn't resemble the comics at all, and I know that the movie had its problems, but honestly, I think it was better than than anything Marvel Cinematic Universe has been doing since that Infinity War stuff. I think in retrospect, this movie is not as shitty as we thought. Oh, don't go fucking with these books in here, Drew. Okay. So I'm going to get some of these rolled posters. Well, what is that, man? This is something I did in 7th grade for a book report. I read some stupid book from the library called Pardon My Fangs, and so we were supposed to do a poster based on the book we read to kind of prove that we read it. It must have had some kind of Poseidon type guy. It's a book by Elizabeth Starr Hill, Pardon My Fangs. It's just a book that I had to read. And I thought, well, it's about a werewolf, I'll read it. But since this is on hardboard, this will flatten out those rolled posters. Ouch. This is going to take several episodes to go through all these posters because there's a lot of them. What is this? Oh, at the school I used to teach at, they had their 100th anniversary, and so in the gym, I put together music and we staged a canteen, a sock hop for all the alumni from the 50s and 60s that came back, or some of them did. These are okay. This stuff here is just stuff that used to be on my the wall of my classroom before I retired back in Texas. This good stuff will be later. I'm just showing you everything. It's a Captain Underpants poster. How exciting! And just a picture of the football team. I'll put everything in this closet. Oh, here's a poster I made from a Turok Son of Stone cover. I'll go put this down in the basement in that arcade that used to be in my classroom. I thought, it'll encourage kids to read, but in all honesty, where are they going to go out and find a Turok Son of Stone comic book? That wasn't going to happen. What is this? Oh, this is some, after Selena was popular, I guess there was Spice Girls, right? And Selena was really popular. So I guess someone thought, well, we'll combine the idea of the Spice Girls and Selena, and we'll have a whole group of Selena-type girls, and we'll call it Soluna. And these were book covers that the kids were supposed to cover their books with, but none of the kids knew who this band was, and I've never heard their music, but I saved it just because, it's, cute girls. And because I save everything. So I should, when I'm done with this, I'll look up Soluna on YouTube and see what their videos are like. I'm sure it's probably horrible, huh? But, who knows? This is a poster I made for the newspaper staff to meet after school to work on the school newspaper that I produced. You can tell I produced it because it's got like Robbie the Robot on the cover and stuff. And this was a happy birthday card that my students made for me on my birthday. Okay, we're getting to the good stuff. Sorry. Oh, this was a poster that was on the wall in the hallway at my old school, and some kid made it for advertising a dance that was coming up. But look at this. Change for Change dance. When? This Friday, March 9th. Where? Restroom. Cost $1. 7th and 8th period. See, the kid must have been thinking, boy, I need to go to the restroom. And instead of writing gymnasium or the gym, he writes, or she wrote restroom. And it was on the wall and no one noticed it. And when the dance was over, I took it and said, I'm going to save this because it's funny. I like funny signs. I like found, Meyer Greenblatt was talking about this not too long ago. Found signs. I used to know this other teacher who is an artsy type. And she would go to these homeless people that had, we'll work for food, God bless signs, and she would buy the signs from them. She said, I'll give you $25 for that sign. And they'd say, sure. And then she would collect these signs and she had them around her fireplace. She was real liberal, and you would think that a liberal would not, that that's kind of cruel. But anyway, this was outside my classroom door because they had this thing where we're going to say the students are all rock stars or they're all movie stars. And on the first day of school, they put out a fake red carpet so they felt like they're arriving in a movie premiere. So all the teachers chose some movie star, and they made a little sign with us tonight, but I chose Frankenstein's monster and had it outside my wall for years. So I think I'll put this on display with that Turok down in the basement. But and this was something left at my house back several years ago. It's some modern looking Thor poster. I could throw it away. I know it's not Jack Kirby, but I don't throw things away, like I said. Here's a poster I made of some cheerleaders at the school I used to teach at from the 50s, and I thought it was a great poster. She looks like Kitten, the one in the front from Father Knows Best. And I put it up because I was the historian. I was the historian. I researched no one else cared about the history of the school, but I would put up all the history stuff and research the history of the school. And if this woman didn't show up at the school once and she saw this big poster of her on the wall, and that says something. When you go into your old junior high school 50 years later, and you're on longer than 50 years, and you're on the wall, it kind of shows, hey, people here care about the past. Of course, now that I'm gone from the school, all the history's, I'm sure, already forgotten, just like it was before I showed up at the school. But oh well, I made a try. I influenced people. I helped kids read and learn to love reading, and students I taught went on to become award-winning teachers, and they remembered me. And so I think I did something with my life besides accumulate this vast tomb of trash. I think I did. Oh well. Going through the souvenirs of my life here. Here's another poster advertising the. I should show you these newspapers that I produced. They all are filled with the kind of pop culture that we like. Stuff's getting stuck together. Not good. See, the first one that I did based on the old newspaper, when I discovered the old, I've got Morticia Adams on the cover. It's the Halloween issue. Of course, I'd put Morticia Adams on the cover every month. I'm not someone, it's Halloween time, it's October, let's put out the monster stuff. No, monster stuff stays out all year, man. These were done by the American Library Association. They have celebrities, and they try to convince you that it's okay to read. You're not going to be a nerd. This is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And some more of those Soluna things. Our dog is named after a character from that TV series, Drusilla. I think it's from that show, or was it from some other vampire show? I don't know. There was some vampire girl in some TV show named Drusilla. For a few years, I taught in a classroom that had no windows. It used to have 5 windows going across, but they built an extension to the school, and it blocked off those windows, right? So I was in there, and I decided where those windows used to be, I'm going to paint fake windows, and I'm going to have crazy stuff happening outside. So that's what these are. See if I can put them together. The only problem is that these went through a fire, because then I took them out to a portable building, And there was a fire one summer. Some people came in there and burned the classroom next to me, and these had smoke damage. But since I'd laminated them, I was able to scrub it all off. Anyway, outside the window, you see Batman and Spider-Man looking in. You see a tornado destroying a house and an alien. And then the window next to it, let's see how this goes. That's the goalpost outside for the football field. I actually tried to recreate the actual surroundings outside the school, and the houses across the street, but I added these fantastical elements, like suddenly there's a volcano where the skyline of Fort Worth should be. And then I did 3 of them. I was going to do 5 to recreate the original 5 windows, but I just got got bored. This is the one with the alien looking in the window. So for many decades, these 3 things were on my wall. Okay. This is Xena, warrior princess, telling you to read. The first season of this, some of the scripts were written by Roy Thomas. It really felt, Sam Raimi produced, it felt like an old Conan comic book from the 70s. It was really good, and she was really cute. And then later on, it wasn't as good, and then they started, make it real obvious that she and her friend were lesbians. Although that stuff is actually true to Greek mythology, Hercules' companion that he hung around with, that was supposed to be that, but, I don't know if I really, who cares? All right, this is back in the old days, World Wrestling Federation, WWF, before it became WWE. And of course, there's The Rock, who's now Black Adam. And she later went on to do porno movies, and then she died. She played the She-Hulk in a porno movie that's probably more comic book accurate than the thing they just did. But this guy here, Cactus Jack, he was called Mankind. He was a really smart guy. He wrote children's books, and he was an authority on the Civil War. So notice he's reading a book about the Civil War. And he also listened to Christmas music all year long. I thought, this guy's brilliant. But, I don't know if he's still alive. I hope he is. I wish he had become a star. Anyway, it's a shame what happened to her. Obviously, she didn't have she was probably on drugs or something. Who knows? Memories pressed between the pages of my mind. Memories, blah, 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 just like wine, like The Simpsons, right? Read, man. This was also on my wall. This was completely black with the smoke of the fire. And what I realized is firemen, when they put out a fire, it's not water coming. I don't think it is. It's some kind of slimy substance. They must have something in there that kills the flame, that's slimy, because I was cleaning the slime off of her. Here is a Lord of the Rings fantasized New Worlds. Those movies were great. Then they made the Hobbit movies, and I thought, ew, this is trash compared to the books. But okay. What else do we have here? Oh yes, Salma Hayek. Read. She's reading about Frida Kahlo there. Read. Leah, however you pronounce it. It means read in Spanish. Man, it would suck if we don't get to the movie posters, because we only get to look at these educational posters. But We'll get there. You gotta trust me. It's more Lord of the Rings stuff. They really promoted. No, it isn't. Shit. Fuck. It's Sean Connery. The Spirit of Scotland. Shit. And this is the Lord of the Rings promo poster I guess they sent to the schools. What else do we got here? I gotta move quicker, man. Moving too slow. Here's the Lord of the Rings thing. This guy, Orlando Bloom. I don't know. He was a big... girls loved him, but I haven't heard of him since. Maybe he's in all kinds of movies, but I don't watch many movies. Seems like all I've watched in the last few years is just shit on YouTube about politics and what's happening. This is a Norman Mingo painting done for libraries. But, you know, they fucked it up because, you know, the whole original joke, I mean, that's what you would think that a kid would hide a Mad magazine behind a textbook. The original Mad cover, he was hiding at his textbook behind a Mad magazine. So there was a joke there. This takes the joke away. But I guess that's the new joke, is that they misspelled read. Oh, that's hilarious. You think that's bad? I had a student that misspelled FBI. He wrote it F-B-E-I, and it's like, whoa. And he was about 3-4 years older than everyone else. He was like this gang leader, but he wasn't too smart. But I guess everyone looked up to him because he was like the age of their dads. What is this? Oh, my goodness. This is Christina Ricci in her short skirt and telling you to read. And this looks like my artwork. So I was at some workshop where they made us make posters, and so I did my own kind of... Here's a kid getting the assignment. Oh, this kid doesn't like homework. I can't believe I did this shit. I was so bored in those meetings. It's like, here it is. I put it up on the wall. All these other teachers, they seemed to like my artwork, but I think probably secretly thought I was out of my fucking mind. Drawing people vomiting at a teacher workshop. I guess I've never given a fuck. I always thought I gave a little bit of a fuck, but perhaps not. This was on my wall when I was a little kid. This Snoopy picture. Never trust a smiling cat, but I drew... No, the scratches on him were there, but I drew blood coming out of the scratches. See, this is what happens to a poster when, you know, you're not... Now it's going to be properly protected. So we moved from a house with 2,500 square feet to a house with 6,117 square feet, but I still don't have room to hang all these posters. Here's Guardians of the Galaxy. These new posters are like double-sided. I got this free somewhere, I don't know. That's why I have such a shitty comic book collection. You guys have probably noticed that I don't have a lot of pre-code horror. I would love to have it. I have reprints of it, but I've always diffused my collecting with movie posters, records, comic books. I consider it all part of the same thing. It's lowbrow culture. It's instead of highbrow culture, it's kid culture. Rock and roll culture, because to me, rock and roll records, posters, movies, and comic books, and toys, also collect toys. It's all part of the same thing. It's the stuff that your mother couldn't wait to throw away. And that's what I collect. But because I've collected so many different kinds of things, and DVDs and Blu-rays now, of movies, I don't have a world-class collection of anything. If I stuck to collecting one thing, well, then it would be amazing. But, oh, well, oh, shit. This stuff was taken down out of my classroom when I retired, and I threw it into the garage. And then it wasn't taken care of. I got stuff taped to things. This was a poster that hung in my classroom too, of Superman. But I need to get the civil defense thing off of it, because I want to put this on the window going down into the basement. Because I saw on YouTube that if a nuclear bomb goes off, you're supposed to go to the basement and take a shower, and then you'll be fine. They had that commercial in New York. Anyway, we salute America's heroes. This is pretty good. Probably should hang this up in the basement. Yeah, I'll do that. Along with this is what I was talking about. Remember these things? Civil defense. And the old radios used to have a little marking on the dial. So if there was a nuclear strike, you'd turn to one radio station, because all the radio stations would go to emergency broadcasting system, and then they would tell you, if you remember the emergency broadcasting system test, they'd say, in the event of an actual emergency, we will tell you what station to tune to for official information. So all the stations would just be on a loop, telling you, go to 6:40 a.m., or I forget what it is, 11:20. It's on the old radios. I could go in the other room. I have some that have that. And it's actually clearly marked on. That's where you'd go to find out information about all of that. Anyway, this is a picture of the 1957 football team from the school I used to teach at. This guy here, number 54, is he passed away a few years ago, but his name was Richard Rainwater, and he was one of the richest men in the world. He was a multi-billionaire, but made his money investing money for the Bass family, which was a billionaire family in Fort Worth, and then he got into speculating on oil futures or something like that. Oh, I want to show you also, for you sports fans, look at the cleats these guys have. It's a junior high school team, right? You see, it's like Gene Simmons, like the spikes they've got on their shoes. Yes, indeed. Now, some of my favorite students that I ever taught were students that were obsessed with things. They used to call it Asperger's, but now they say that doesn't exist. But this kid was obsessed with drawing there's Sonic and robots. But what he really got obsessed with was somehow he was exposed to Mad Magazine's Spy versus Spy, and he would draw all these this was done for me as a Christmas present. He would draw Spy versus Spy nonstop, and I would save the drawings. This is another thing I should hang up. This is for a gun range, so you know how to shoot at, what does that look? Claude Akins. Doesn't that look like Claude Akins? They use these for generations. I guess police trained with this, because it's clearly like a 1950s illustration, you can tell, but they sold these at gun stores clear up through probably the 90s. sorry, mother, father, lollipops. Yeah, I just noticed some of my dog Daisy's toys there in a box. The dog that passed away a few years ago, and that kind of lots of memories. Okay. Now we're getting out of the educational stuff, and here's a poster for Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I used to really admire Hunter S. Thompson. I read his books years before the movie. You know, in the early 80s, I was reading Hunter S. Thompson. And, later, I heard some kind of disappointing things that were kind of disillusioning. Here's a Make Them Die Slowly. This is one of those VHS movies that was in every video store in the early 80s that from Thriller Video. You can also get these other fine movies, Tales from the Dark Side and Buried Alive. What else do we have here? This is a poster of a girl, and my wife is calling. I need to probably go upstairs and see. She probably wants breakfast. Here's a poster for Dazed and Confused. It's kind of an updating of American Graffiti. Instead of American Graffiti took place in one day in 1962, this took place during one day in the beginning of the school year of 1976. And American Graffiti took place at the beginning of the school year of 62, right at the end of summer. And it was a very different characters and everything kind of comes together. Very much influenced by American Graffiti, but it was filmed in Austin, and one of the cars from American Graffiti, you can see it in Dazed and Confused if you keep your eyes peeled. So it was very much a conscious decision. One more, then I'll go check on my wife, and she says, "Where are you?" She just sent me a text message. This is Casper and Wendy. I think that's what's her face. What's her darn face? Hillary Duff. Is she the one that went bad? No, I don't think so. The one that went bad was the daughter of the achy breaky heart idiot. I'll be right back. She didn't realize it was Saturday. She thought I was at work, possibly. Okay, this is a poster for the Cramps. They were a band that I really enjoyed, but I enjoyed their earlier stuff more. See, here, Lux and Ivy, these two guys were new. So this is after Nick Knox, the drummer, left, and the really early stuff had this guy named Brian Gregory. that looked like Boris Karloff with this hair locks that came, and he had this pitted face, and he was a great. He was great. A great. Anyway, early Cramps albums. This is from a later period. They were very much into all the stuff we're into as far as old. Mitsu was, I think, a French singer. I must have gotten this from a record store. It seems like maybe her music wasn't bad, but I can't vouch for that. But I got her poster. Okay. This is one of those from an old VHS store. It's called Breeders. How about that? Breeders. That was a Disney film. Okay, we're starting to get into the good posters, which probably means this is when the memory on my phone is going to die. Because that's how it always works, right? Okay, a rolled poster, which is annoying. Posters were traditionally folded, movie posters, but in the, I don't know, at a certain point in the 80s maybe, they started to have them sent rolled. But if you're collecting old posters from the 50s, 60s, and before, they're always going to be folded. This is Frankenhooker, the Frank Henenlotter film. We get some more posters from the other room. Okay, here's some good ones that I need to have out on display. Here's some of those Marvel blacklight posters that used to be very at this comic book store in Grand Prairie. How did that get damaged, man? It's got torn, and I don't know. Hopefully that wasn't chewed by a mouse, man. That would suck. But anyway, it's a poster of Hela and Odin. Man, I really should have this on display. What is this thing? Oh, that's Superman. I don't know what this is. Oh, man. This is my poster of UFO. You might have seen it in the old house. It's a big giant 3-sheet of, well, I think it's from Iran. And it's when the Jerry Anderson TV show UFO was made into a feature film over there. You remember? This used to be in the background. Oh, shit. It's really in bad shape. I'll lift it up higher so you can see the purple-haired woman. Yeah, man, I was wondering where this went. Actually, I'd forgotten about it, honestly. But there's a beach party 3-sheet I have somewhere, and I don't know where that is. But this is UFO, and yeah, I guess I'll show you here. This is the Silver Surfer poster from the Blacklight Marvel. I think I know a place to put this downstairs. Oh, this is Donna Lauren, her advertising campaign for Dr. Pepper. She had a calendar. You know, this is the 1968 calendar. She's still around. She's on Facebook. She still records music. She was in Beach Party movies, and she was always doing the Dr. Pepper commercials with Dick Clark in the 1960s. And she was very beautiful, and still is. She's in her 70s now. Oh, she was also in a Batman episode, you know, where the Joker was, I think the Joker was putting, there was like a milk vending machine at Robin's high school, and it seemed like he was tainting the milk with something that made the kids turn, well, no, maybe it wasn't that. He was turning the kids into criminals somehow. And of course, Robin had to, save his high school. I don't know if you saw that episode, but Donna Lauren was in it. I'll bring more posters. Fucking bitch. You didn't hear that. All right. Hour and a half. Yeah. So how are you guys doing this wonderful Saturday? This is another poster for the Cramps, but this is a more vintage one when they had their... No. Well, this is when they... This isn't the original lineup, but this is still a great lineup. That's when Nick Knox was still the drummer. But yeah, this is a great one. Promoting Looks like a British tour. Okay. What do we have here? Oh, it's a Britney Spears Reed poster. Yeah. Back when she was still wholesome. Oh, man. This is a, I need to hang this up. This is a Frank Frazetta Luana. This is something that Jambo Comics should have on his wall, 100%. This would be... I don't think the movie was... I'm not sure if I've seen them. I'm pretty sure that it's not a good movie and it doesn't look anything like that, or I would, be way into it. It's just the poster fools you into thinking that I think it might be some kind of Filipino thing or something. What is this? I don't know where this came from. Jules Bledsoe, the devil Mephisto, the Ethiopian king Amonasaro, a practitioner of voodoo, and the Emperor Jones are only a few of the operatic... Oh, it's some opera singer. Apparently. Why do I own this? I have no idea. Can't account for that. Oh, Gene Simmons fell over, man. Here's a Barbie poster telling you that you should read. Oh, there's some good stuff coming up. If I run out of tape, I'll show you in the next episode the really great stuff. This is a wrestling poster. It says America's Hottest New Wrestlers, AWWF, American Women's Wrestling Federation. So this must have been from an old VHS store. You got Tornado Red, Devious Diva, Salem Witch, Galaxina, Rock Candy. Look at Salem Witch. You've got Cajun Queen, Vestal Virgin, Carmen de las Frutas. You're kidding me. And Kitten Steel. I wonder if this shit's on... it's got to be on YouTube. This will be a fun thing to look up on YouTube. I've got a million of them, man. Here's the poster promoting the Fox Kids Network with that X-Men lineup. And what else was memorable? X-Men was the only thing that was worth... Because this Droopy, that was not the original Droopy cartoons. It was some new thing from the 90s. All right. This is from when I lived in Tacoma, Washington, and we went to visit Seattle. It's like old Seattle, what it looked like. Right? It's made to look old. Okay. I used to have this on the wall when I was a little kid. Because it's a window and there's a train coming at you. I thought that was neat. Now what's the story? story on this. It's a Vampirella promo poster from your local comic book store. And from Harris Comics in 1991. I think. Is that a Mike Kaluta cover? I think. I'm not sure. But it's a good cover. Harris, James Warren got sick or something, and somehow all his stuff wound up in a bankruptcy sale or something, like against his will. And Harris Comics bought the rights to Vampirella and I think Creepy, and now Dynamite has the rights to messing up Vampirella. Here's a Rocketeer summer 1991. It's a calendar for the whole year, but this was beautiful art for this movie. I love this movie. We were talking about it on Wednesday on the Four Color Fossil show, but my problem with the movie was that they should have made an attempt to make his girlfriend look like Betty Page. Even though Jennifer Connelly was beautiful, there are women that look like Betty Page. Believe it or not, there's a model named Bernie Dexter. Look her up, Bernie Dexter. You know, she would have been good. There was also the problem is for most of the movie he's a fumblebutt trying to figure out his rocket pack, and it's like the Greatest American Hero where he's running into things. That could have been okay at the beginning. I wish he had more screen time, knowing what he's doing, and you know, being like Commando Cody, and you know, being able to do cool stunts in the air. You know, I understand start where he's screwing up, but don't make the whole movie until the very ending scene. All of a sudden, he's doing it right. But no offense, I love the movie. I feel like I'm always a gloomy Gus on the Four Color Fossils. My comic books suck. That sucked. You know, I was like complaining about the Werewolf by Night TV show, but everyone else that had seen it loved it. And I was thinking, well, you know, just seemed a little seedy and gory, and the werewolf didn't look like, you know, I got all these complaints. This is from Dynamite magazine. It's 3D with their 3D glasses. If you put on your 3D glasses, this will look 3D to you on your TV monitor. Okay. That used to be on my wall when I was a kid. Oh, I'm finding all kinds of cool stuff. What the fuck? Okay, here's a Greg Theakston poster for the Betty Page's annual. Betty Page's was a little digest-sized magazine that was all about Betty Page, and they were trying to find Betty Page. Eventually, they found her, and she got to spend the last few years of her life knowing how much people loved her. I think there's some copies of Betty Page's right here. Yeah, it was a little digest-sized magazine like this. I bought every issue. I was so into Betty Page, it was unbelievable. Here is another one. This one's signed. Holy shit. This one's signed by Greg Theakston. It's 177 out of 500. I really should have this framed. I have no explanation why it's not framed other than money and also forgetting that I owned it. Here's another one of the Betty Page annual poster. Yeah, if you gave up after 17 minutes, because they show the average time that people watch the show, it's like 15 minutes, you're not going to see all this cool stuff. You got to watch to the end for the Garage Warlock show. You never can tell cool stuff pops up at the end. Here's a poster advertising Corpus Christi from Braniff International. That's a cool artifact. Those were the days, huh? And the Cramps poster. You see, the thing about the Cramps, see, they used the Tales from the Crypt font because they were into old pre-code horror. It's bad music for bad people. This record is their greatest hits. If you want to see, I wonder if I like that band that Gratu is always talking about, the Cramps. I bet you can just listen to bad music for bad people on YouTube and make that determination yourself.